Good afternoon, and welcome to the Indy's Trusted Servant Show on INSPIREsmall biz with yours truly, Danny O'Malia, Indy's Trusted Servant. I want to thank Ryan Henry, who is seated next to me today, for offering me the opportunity to present my interviews on YouTube on INSPIREsmall.biz. What's Indy's Trusted Servant? Well, that's me, Danny O'Malia. I do customer service training and keynote speaking about customer service. It's all about the culture of the organization. Learned that from the hand of the master, my late father, Joe O'Malia, back in the O'Malia Food Markets days, and even long before that. What's the Indy's Trusted Servant Show on INSPIREsmall.biz? I like to describe it as lively local small biz and community talk where you can feel the pulse of Indy. And Ryan just started Indy small.biz, INSPIREsmall.biz recently, and it was an outgrowth of his old networking organization, Open in Indiana. Ryan, tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll get into INSPIREsmall.biz in more detail, and then we'll start talking about this big networking event we want to talk about coming up in January.
Sure. Well, so Open in Indiana originally came to be in 2016. And that came out of a discussion with some clients of mine in Carmel who were upset that a major intersection was closed and it was going to be a huge impact to their business. So we built this website that would show folks what businesses are there and how you could get to them. It was really simple. And that was all we did to start. It was...
you should mention that you were an IT guy and so on and so forth, and still are, but...
Yeah. And so building a website was easy enough for us, and that was our way to say, we have a solution for you. We could do something to try and help you. And that morphed into, we ended up with 50 businesses in Carmel pretty rapidly, and then we expanded into Indianapolis and Greenwood. And then we had this idea, wait, this is ridiculous to do just one town at a time. Why don't we try for the whole state? And that worked out well. Around that time, we branded some networking groups that we were running with another organization that dissolved. So we decided to brand them as our own events and keep doing them. So prior to COVID, we had 9 different groups running in the Indianapolis area. Carmel and Fishers were 2 of our more popular.
I attended most of them.
Yes. Yeah, and it was a great place for people to come and get connected because we'd have you who had deep, long connections into the Indy area business community and, just hearing the stories of what you've experienced and been a part of. But then all of the other people that came together who were in the process of building their business, trying to grow the business they had already started, and even some people who were just trying to get out of the gate. And that was fascinating.
Exactly. Yep.
So when COVID happened, all the in-person stuff stopped. And we just took everything online. Well, at the end of 2020, I was having a conversation with a SCORE mentor because even as an established business, you still reach out to someone who knows more.
And SCORE is a very interesting and good organization to help young people in business.
In fact, you should invite them for a future episode.
That's a good idea. If you've got a contact, because I've kind of lost my contacts.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll have them. That's a good idea.
Help is on the way.
Yeah, cool.
So July of 2021, we rolled out INSPIREsmall.biz, which allowed us to take everything about Open in Indiana that our members liked and offer it to the entire country at one time. So we're no longer restricted to just who's here in Indiana who could walk into a room with us. We also get to connect with people completely on the other end of the country because there's still small businesses there.
Absolutely. So again, INSPIREsmall.biz is the website.
Yes.
And what kind of stuff is on it other than the Indy's Trusted Servant Show?
Well, so there's a lot of resources. If you're trying to build your business or figure out how to do something technical-wise for your business, look at our site first. Our library covers all kinds of things from setting up Facebook for your business. Some of our recent content that was really popular is how to transcribe for free. We found this free service that's available where you could take videos like the Indy's Trusted Servant Show, upload it, and then get the transcript fed back to you, which is really good for SEO for those of you who are familiar with how websites work. But at the same time, to be able to read the article if watching or listening isn't your thing.
Gotcha. So the INSPIREsmall.biz website is an educational tool for everybody that's in business.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's very simple to get to. And from there, you can see what's available. Again, I'm really excited to have the Indy's Trusted Servant Show as part of your program. So now we have some mutual friends who have a very interesting live networking event that has circumvented COVID, although it was somewhat interrupted. And it's called Biz Spotlight. And basically, if you want to talk about Biz Spotlight, then we'll get into the you and Biz Spotlight putting on this big January 14th event.
Sure. Well, so Business Spotlight is run by Julie Pesick with the Tax Advantage and Jeff Slane with Fully Promoted Officials. And so second Friday of every month from 11 to 1, it's this excellent event where you can register ahead of time. Your contact information is included on a piece of paper handout you get. And then everyone gets a few moments with the microphone to give you their pitch. So as you're sitting there eating your lunch and you hear something that piques your interest, you can make a little check on the list so you know who you're going to reach out to.
Who you want to call or who you want to talk to that day if you can catch them before they leave. Yeah.
And the beauty about it is you don't have to chase them down for a business card at the end of the event because you've got all their information.
The business card is on the sheet.
Yeah.
Should mention that the event monthly is at Pinheads in Noblesville on 37.
Yes.
But January 14th, well, let's go ahead and start talking about January 14th.
Sure. Well, so mid last year, Julie and I started talking about an opportunity for us to work together because we had mutual admiration for what each other can do as far as an event host. And so we just started talking, and it was real theoretical at the beginning. We're like, oh, well, maybe this would be a kind of cool thing, or maybe this would be a kind of cool thing. And then we had the idea that January Business Spotlight is usually a huge event because it's people trying to get the word out for the new year.
And they didn't have one in December because it's too close to the holidays. So,
yes.
Yeah, so it's been 2 months since a Biz Spotlight.
Yes. And so back in late October, we actually made the decision that we were going to go in together and do the January Business Spotlight together, which also led us to an additional part of the conversation of which other network organization leaders do we respect in the community and want them to get involved with us and kind of put all of our powers into the same bucket. And so that's how we end up with, as of the date of this recording, we have 7 organizations that are in on this together.
Okay. I did not know about the other organizations. And you have branded this event. What's the title of it?
It's Business Spotlight, New Year, New Connections.
Business Spotlight, New Year, New Connections. Now, I should tell our listeners, our viewers, that the Biz Spotlight pre-COVID would have about 75 people.
Yes.
Every month, thereabouts, give or take. It got, postponed by COVID, but then it got ramped up again.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're quite back to 75 yet, but it's the biggest networking event I can find in terms of numbers of people.
Yeah.
Post-COVID. And of course, this, I shouldn't say post-COVID, but post the shutdowns, this event, I think, is going to kick Biz Spotlight into higher gear.
Yes.
Tell us how people can access the event.
So by visiting the website www.oii.fyi/spotlight.
I'm glad you can memorize that.
Yes. Well, we have a URL shortener that we use, and so it makes it really easy for folks to not have to type in a long, complicated URL with numbers and dashes and stuff. And, it's not easy to remember. You can't be mad if people don't do it.
So the event itself is January 14th
Yes.
at
Bar Louie
in Carmel.
Yes, Main Street and Old Meridian. This is a beautiful building. Julie and I are actually going to look at the venue this afternoon and finalize everything with their management team. And they've been fantastic working with us. So
Good.
The reason why we end up at Bar Louie is that Pinheads had a conflict. They love hosting the event there.
It's good exposure for Pinheads.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And with Bar Louie, they have a huge space. It's easy access to 31, which gets you back to 465 easily.
Yep. So all sides of town.
Yes.
This is the one to come to.
All roads point to Spotlight.
Yeah. The only problem with the pinheads, of course, is that 37 is a mess right now.
It'll be nice when it's done.
Yeah. Given that, their turnouts have been terrific.
Yes.
Now, you were telling me off the air that you've already got 100 people signed up, and
Yes.
it's a whole month ahead.
Yes.
Right?
So Julie's been really good to keep all of us leaders up on who's registered and how many total we have, because we have to let Bar Louie know so they have enough staff and
Right.
food ready for us.
Right.
But yeah, we hit 100 as of Wednesday this week.
That's really a month ahead. That's awesome.
Yes.
And maybe we can work together on this, but the sponsors of Biz Spotlight, Julie Pesick and Jeff Slane, tell everybody about their businesses.
So Julie is with Tax Advantage, so she knows your numbers. She can make sure your books are straightened up, that your tax liability is minimized, and that you're always in good compliance when the IRS comes knocking.
Right.
Jeff can put your logo on anything. So you find the products you want. He'll work with you to make sure that you have branding on it that you're happy with, and you can either give them out as gifts, you could sell them as products. There's limitless things that you can do with what he has available. So both of them are just excellent business industries for the type of event they've put together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, January 14th, 11 to 1 at Bar Louie in Carmel.
Yeah.
For the big January event, which is called, again?
Business Spotlight, New Year, New Connections.
Business Spotlight, New Year, New Connections. Give us that. How do you make a reservation on that?
Sure. So on your smartphone or computer, you go to www.oii.fyi/spotlight.
And the Biz Spotlight will start up again the second Friday of February.
Yes, and
Second
they'll be
Friday,
back at Pinheads for
back
that.
at Pinhead, so that there's no confusion there.
Yes.
We've got a little more time. Let's go back to INSPIResmall.biz and tell. I know I interviewed you 2 or 3 months ago, but you've probably got new stuff going on.
Generally, yeah. There's always something new.
Tell us what you want to tell us about INSPIReSmall.biz.
Sure. Well, so in addition to all of the resources on our website that you can read anytime, we have kept networking alive in a virtual format. So every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we're available on Zoom, and we host a speaker or activity. So we're going to be in the holiday break now. So today was our last meeting for 2021, and we return on January 3rd, 22, with someone Mark Kipp with Vector Sign Solutions.
Okay.
And he's going to talk to us about how to design an eye-catching sign for your business.
Okay, that's an interesting business, having been in the retail grocery business for so long and buying a lot of signs, right? And there's a lot of stories about the sign business that we probably won't go into now, but it is a very, very interesting business. One thing about signs, when you see that a business is closed, and of course you see a lot of restaurants closed these days, if you've ever wondered whatever happens to the signs, they get trashed. I mean, there's nothing you can do with them, right?
Either that, or in the case of my in-laws, they took my father-in-law's parents owned a bakery, and so the neon light for their business is currently in their kitchen.
Well, yes, you can do that if it's small enough. If it's small enough,
or if your kitchen has the wall space.
Yes. That's an interesting one. This is a very much of an aside, but back in the 80s, there was a grocery company here in Indianapolis that changed hands several times and also changed signage several times. Oh, no. And everybody was joking, boy, I wish I was the sign maker for that company. Because you couldn't store the old sign. They actually changed their name and then put the old name back up again.
Oh no.
And so they had to buy 3 sets of signs there.
Oh no.
Because you could never replace the old sign. Once it's taken down, it's a goner.
Right.
It's quite a business and a lot of technology involved, and those things are heavy.
Yeah.
Unbelievably heavy. So what else is going on with Inspire?
So in addition to that, starting in January again, we resume our once a month in person on the south side of Indianapolis
At Books and Brew.
Meetup. Yes.
Yes. I noticed the Books and Brew in Noblesville is closing. Did you know that?
I did not. I do know the one in Carmel had closed. Now,
okay.
Books and Brew is a franchise, so each one of them has a different owner.
Okay.
And Keith Feckman, who's the owner of the Southside Books and Brew, has been very hospitable to us through COVID. We were meeting there in person when COVID happened, and then we had to stop. And then he contacted us towards like September of 20 and suggested that we try again.
And that event is when?
That is the fourth Friday of each month except for November and December. And it starts at 4 p.m. It runs to 6. Now, it's a social type of event, so you don't have to be there at 4 o'clock. You also don't have to stay until 6 if you've got other places to be.
And at Books and Brew on the south side, I know it's near the University of Indianapolis, but give us the exact location.
Right across the street from U of I. It's 3808 Shelby Street, conveniently the last stop off the Red Line.
Oh, son of a gun. That would be a topic for another show, too, the Red Line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what else? We got a couple more minutes. You want to add anything else?
Sure. So, any of you today who are thinking about starting your own business, there have been countless people in your position before, and there's always going to be things that you're afraid of to just get started. So if there's something that you're not so sure about, you're thinking about going into business, but you're not ready to pull the step yet, reach out to your network and talk to people. Chances are you know somebody who's gone the road of starting their business, or you know someone like Danny whose family had been in business for a long time and built a large business. So you just have to talk about your ideas and get them out there, because you never know who's going to be able to offer you something to improve what you're working on or help you avoid a costly mistake.
And INSPIResmall biz is a good resource for this kind of information.
Yes.
And to meet the kind of people you want to meet.
Yes.
Which also means that the big event on January 14th and the Biz Spotlight going forward. Let's just review January 14th, Bar Louie in Carmel.
Yes.
11 to 1. And what's that? How do you sign up for the event?
www.oii.fyi/spotlight.
Now, if you're already up to 100 people, are they still going to give that handout with everybody's contact information?
Yes. So
a very valuable piece of paper.
You have until January 10th to get registered to get your info included on that sheet that you'll get when you check in. Now, depending on how many we actually have show up in the room, our introductions will be a little shorter than
I'll
usual.
bet.
So,
yeah.
So this is a really good time to work on your elevator pitch and get that down.
And it's also a good time to make sure you get there in time that you can meet a lot of folks.
Yes.
Because the elevator pitches will be quick.
And one last opportunity that's always been a signature of Business Spotlight: bring a door prize with you at the end of the event.
Oh, yeah.
So when you check in, you put your business card in a bowl.
Right.
And at the end of the event, all of the prizes that are contributed, so all of the hosts bring something, some of the folks who attend the event bring something. Julie set a rule of nothing valued over $25 because it's not that kind of event, but folks bring things like coffee or
gift certificates.
Yeah.
Restaurant gift certificates, whatever.
Yeah, things that leave a little bit of interpretation open to how the person's going to enjoy it once they get it. But it's a great opportunity at the end of the event to get a quick plug for your business and say, this gift is courtesy of Indy's trusted servant, and then they'll draw the gift card and give the winner. So if you have a door prize you're going to bring with you, just leave it at the check-in table when you show up. Make sure to include your business card with it so that you get an appropriate plug for your contribution.
And I might add, if you do show up at the event, let them know that you saw the Indy's Trusted Servant show on INSPIResmall.biz, and that's how they learned about it.
Yes,
right?
Make sure you find Danny and make sure you tell him you watched the show.
And be sure to find Ryan and make sure you tell him you watched the show, right?
Yes.
So next week's guest will be my high school classmate from Cathedral High School, Bob Typen. He's going to talk about his CPA firm, Typen CPAs, but also he's the founder of Catholic Radio Indy, and we're going to talk a lot about Catholic Radio Indy. So tune in next week for my good friend Bob Typen, and we'll see you then. Yeah, thanks again, Ryan.
Hey, thank you, Danny. And next week's episode should be fascinating.
It is.
Awesome.
It will be.
Yes. Take care, everyone.